bring your popcorn, dim the lights, and get comfortable. Because tonight, we're diving into one of the most chilling and tragic hauntings you'll ever hear about. Welcome to another episode of The Haunting Chronicles, where we uncover the darkest, most eerie locations from around the world. And this time, we're venturing into the heart of France, where a spirit of sorrow, betrayal, and anger still lingers in the shadows of a grand chateau. The story of Château de Brissac, the lady in green, will send shivers down your spine. So, get ready. The haunting of the Château de Brissac is about to begin. In the heart of the French countryside, where vineyards spill across hills like a sea of green, and the silence of the night is deafening, stands a majestic chateau. The Château de Brissac, a towering fortress of stone steeped in centuries of history, looms over the land. It is a place of immense beauty. Its Gothic architecture, grand towers, and lush gardens look almost enchanting in the moonlight. But beneath the surface of this alluring beauty lies a darkness, an unspeakable tragedy, and a restless spirit that refuses to fade. The story of the Château de Brissac is not just one of opulence and royal elegance, but of betrayal, murder, and a ghostly presence that lingers in the shadows. The most famous and most terrifying haunting here is that of Château de Brissac, the young wife of the Duke, whose life ended in horror and whose spirit continues to haunt the chateau. Charlotte's life was one of tragedy from the moment she married the Duke. She was a woman of beauty and grace, admired by many, but in the privacy of her marriage, she was imprisoned in a cage of cruelty and jealousy. Her husband, the Duke, was a man of wealth and power, but behind the facade of nobility was a soul twisted by envy, rage, and suspicion. The Duke, consumed by jealousy and bitterness, was said to have been unfaithful, carrying on illicit affairs that he would not allow Charlotte to confront. His cruelty towards her was matched only by the depths of his paranoia. He suspected her of infidelity, his suspicions growing darker by the day. Charlotte, a victim of her husband's relentless temper and mistrust, found herself trapped in a marriage that slowly drained the life out of her. Rumors began to circulate that the Duke was a brutal man, a man with a violent temper, capable of more than just words. But nothing could have prepared Charlotte for the nightmare that awaited her one fateful night. It was 1786 when Charlotte's life was violently cut short. The details surrounding her death remained shrouded in mystery. But one thing is certain: it was a murder, a brutal, senseless, and violent act that has never been fully explained. Some say the Duke, enraged by his suspicions of Charlotte's infidelity, confronted her one final time. Others suggest he had a lover, one who was more than willing to help him silence Charlotte forever. But regardless of the exact circumstances, the result was the same. Charlotte was found dead, her body cold, her life extinguished by the hands of the man who should have loved her. It is said that Charlotte's death was not merely an act of rage, but the result of years of suffering and emotional torment. Her spirit, torn from her body too soon, could not rest. She became bound to the chateau, condemned to roam its halls, seeking justice that was never served, and yearning for a peace that would never come. Her ghost, now known as the Lady in Green, has been reported by many who have visited the Château de Brissac. According to legend, Charlotte's apparition appears dressed in a long, flowing green gown, her face pale and expressionless, her eyes hollow with grief. She drifts through the chateau's darkened corridors, her mournful figure appearing at windows, her haunting silhouette barely visible in the dim light. Witnesses describe her as a vision of sorrow, her spirit forever caught between the worlds of the living and the dead. But the Lady in Green is not simply a sad spirit. She is angry, tormented by the brutal betrayal and violence she endured in life. Those who have encountered her speak of an overwhelming sense of sadness, but also of a deep, unsettling rage. Her ghost is not passive. She is restless, vengeful, and unforgiving. And while she may appear as a sorrowful figure, her presence is one of power. Her sorrow has become fury, and her fury has kept her tied to the chateau, forever trapped in the agony of her tragic death. Visitors to the chateau have reported strange occurrences, objects that move without explanation, the unmistakable feeling of being watched, and a constant chill that fills the air, even in the warmest of weather. But the most chilling encounters are those that involve direct contact with Charlotte's spirit. One visitor, a historian who had spent years studying the chateau's past, was walking through the darkened halls when he felt an inexplicable force grip his chest. The temperature plummeted, and he felt a sudden heaviness, as if the air had become thick with sorrow and anger. As he turned the corner, he saw her, standing at the far end of the corridor. Her figure glowing faintly in the dark was a woman in a green dress. Her face was obscured by dark hair, and she simply stared at him. No words, no sound, just the weight of her gaze. Terrified, the historian turned to leave, but when he glanced back, Charlotte was gone. The sense of dread, however, lingered, and as he exited the chateau, he could not shake the feeling that she was still watching him, following him, waiting. The chateau's chapel, too, has been the site of many eerie encounters. The chapel, once a sacred place of worship, now serves as a place where Charlotte's spirit is often seen. Visitors have reported seeing her kneeling before the altar, her figure bent in mourning, her hands clasped together in silent prayer. Her spirit appears to be caught in an eternal cycle of grief, seeking redemption that can never come. The chapel has a heavy atmosphere, and many who step inside report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and helplessness. Some have even heard faint whispers, Charlotte's voice, mournful and quiet, as if she is calling out for someone to listen, to remember her. But there is a darker side to this haunting. Some believe that Charlotte is not alone. The chateau has seen other deaths over the years, other lives snuffed out in violent, unexplained ways. Some claim that other spirits haunt the chateau, angry souls who were victims of the Duke's cruelty. They say these spirits join Charlotte, following her through the halls, whispering in the darkness, creating a sense of malevolent energy that fills the chateau. The Château de Brissac's beauty and grandeur have not protected it from its past. Despite the many visitors who come to admire its historical significance, the chateau is forever entwined with the curse of Charlotte de Brissac. Her spirit, driven by sorrow and rage, haunts the halls she once roamed as a living woman. And though the castle may have changed hands many times, it seems that she will never leave. Her soul is caught in an eternal loop of torment, never able to escape the violence and betrayal that marked her life. She waits, patiently, for justice that will never come. And those who visit the Château de Brissac, those who dare to walk its haunted halls, might just find themselves caught in the same web of sorrow that binds Charlotte to this world. For as long as the chateau stands, the lady in green will never rest. And so, the chateau's dark history continues, its walls forever echoing with the whispers of the past. Charlotte de Brissac, the lady in green, remains a living part of its tragic story, her presence a chilling reminder of the horrors that once unfolded in this grand haunted castle. The question remains, will Charlotte ever find peace? Or will her restless spirit wander these halls for all eternity? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining us on tonight's journey through the eerie halls of the Château de Brissac. If you felt that chill down your spine, you're not alone. There's something truly unsettling about a haunted legacy that refuses to fade. Remember, the stories we uncover are just the beginning, and there are so many more chilling tales to explore. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like and share. Your support keeps these haunting chronicles alive. Until next time, stay safe and always watch the shadows.